I would deem myself a very self-aware person. It's weird for me because I am in this space now where I think I have come to an end of myself, and there is a side of me that I actually don't know. The only person who knows how you are made is your maker. To further understand my vision is to further understand who I am and who God is calling me to be. God, who are you calling me to be in this season? Can you teach me who she is? Welcome to Things Hoped For, an odyssey between hopes and realities. This podcast will explore and exercise the vehicle of faith to help us understand how to get to our destination. Where are we going, you ask? Well, to the land that God promised you, a land flowing with milk and honey. So, are you ready? Hey THF fam, I'm taking you back to October, where we dubbed the entire month Vision Month. We spent some time together gifting ourselves the space to dream, to seek God, and to seek direction for what He would have for us as we're transitioning from one year into the next. Now, normally I'd have my thoughts gathered and tied in a pretty bow for you guys, but this Vision Month, I just said, let the thoughts come as they are. And just continuing to practice releasing, perfection and having to have things all together. And I hope that's okay with you. So let's tap into one of my favorite conversations that we had during one of our dreaming sessions. And by the way, if you missed the dreaming sessions or October Vision Month completely, that's why you need to get plugged in and subscribe to our newsletter. So that way you don't miss any cool events. And in fact, you can actually check out our website at www.ThngsHopedFor.com/events for some new events that are coming in, and I cannot wait to share them with you guys. There's some pretty cool stuff coming up, so you want to get plugged in. I pray that this dreaming session blesses you and it inspires you not just to dream big, but to prepare big as well. All right, let's get into it. Hello. I'm waving to everybody. Coming in. Welcome. Welcome. This is my second live. I still am a little nervous, but we push through, okay? As my little brother says, we move. Welcome, everybody. I'm going to give it one more minute or maybe two to 7:30. But if you are tuning in and you've never met me or don't know me, my name is Nya. I'm the founder of Things Hoped For. So welcome. And this month is Vision Month. Literally something that we started this year, completely inspired by the church that I go to. Shout out Union Church, okay? If you are from Union Church, come on, rep it below. And so just continuing in that light, we had Vision Sunday last Sunday. And it just inspired me to move forward with vision for my life and just share what it is that I'm learning through God, through just seeking vision with you all. So, hey, Union in the house. All right, Lady Biddy. Hey. Oh my goodness. I'm telling you, Union knows how to rep, man. My goodness. So blessed to be a part of that house for sure. Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's see. All right. So this live, the reason why y'all didn't see the last one was because honestly, I was like, child, that was a hot mess. And this live is a couple things for me personally. It's also just my way to continue to practice sharing, evangelizing, and also speaking, okay? And just walking in that. But most importantly, this Vision Month, another thing too is if you're a perfectionist, put it in the chat, okay? So I'm one where it's like I like to plan all the things before I even do it. And who knows that life is not like that all the time, right? So I want to start getting comfortable with just sharing raw thoughts. Like maybe it's not a complete thought yet. Maybe it's, I don't know, like it's still in the workings, but that's the whole point of being vulnerable. That's the whole point of building a community and sharing vision with each other. We're all working this thing out. So I'm just continuing to step in that as well. Welcome in all the new people coming in. Again, my name is Nya. Nice to meet you guys. Oh, my sister's here. Hey. All right, cool. So let's get into it. It's 7:31. So again, Vision Month. This live is literally just it's kind of like a dreaming workshop. Like I said, it's raw thoughts about just casting vision that, like, I believe God has been sharing with me throughout this week. And I plan to do it every Sunday until our Dreamers Vision Party, Pajama Party event, which is November 4th. It is ladies only. Sorry, guys. But anyone is invited. You guys are invited. So it's leading up into that. So like we can just continue to dream big together. I remember one of my friends telling me she had this meeting with like some financial guy, right? And he had asked her, what does your life look like? What do you plan to do in the next 3 years? And she was like, next 3 years, like, I don't know. And one of her reasons was like, I actually like don't have time to sit down and think about what my next 3 years is, let alone even kind of have that personality to like sit and be like, I know what I'm going to do in the next 3 years. So I keep saying that this month and this time is really to just make space for that, for us to make space to dream, because if we don't have time, then let's make the time, right? So let's make the time. So I'm just going to go ahead and hop into it. This week was really interesting. For me, a lot of newness, a lot of rediscovery. I'll start off with something that God shared with me about vision in Jeremiah 1 verse 12. And I'll read it first. I got it right here. I don't know what version is this Bible, child? Maybe I'll put it in the comments later. But Jeremiah 1 verse 12. And this is when God is giving Jeremiah a vision. So he says, or this is what the Lord says to me. Then the Lord said to me, you have seen well, for I am actively watching over my word to fulfill it. But I'm actually going to go a verse back. It says, verse 11, the word of the Lord came to me saying, Jeremiah, what do you see? And I said, I see the branch of an olive tree, of an almond tree. Then the Lord said to me, you have seen well, for I am actively watching over my word to fulfill it. And as I was thinking about this word, it kind of like hit me that like, so I have a Bible study group with my girlfriends, and we just finished Isaiah and we're in Jeremiah right now. So this is a recent read. And what I've noticed is that when sometimes God, when it comes to vision, he'll first ask you what you see. And I think a lot of the times our prayers are, God, like, give me vision, Lord. What does my next year look like? What does my next 3 years look like? What the husband look like? What the marriage look like? What does my life look like? What does the job look like? Vision. What does this vision look like? And what I found, even when we read like, the most famous verse about vision, which is in Habakkuk, like, write the vision and make it plain. I'm continuing to see that sometimes when it pertains vision, he will ask you, what do you see first? And so what that shared to me was that there definitely is a part that we play in vision. I think as I continue to read it, after God had asked him, what do you see, right? And Jeremiah had said, this is what I see. I see a branch of an almond tree. Then the Lord replied, you have seen well. So it also brought to me that like, we got to give space for God's response to what we say that we see. Because sometimes it can be right and sometimes it can be wrong, right? Or sometimes it just needs to be adjusted. I think about Pastor Stephen said a couple sermons ago that like when Jesus healed the blind man, and he touched his eyes the first time and he said, I see men who look like trees, right? It was still blurry. And then he healed them the second time. And he was talking about how he was healing both his natural eyes and his spiritual eyes, but he healed his spiritual eyes first. It just continues to bring to light that like, you have to make space for God to touch your vision again, right? It's really interesting. It's like he asked you what you see. So write what you see. And that plainly means like, what do you see for your vision, right? Do you see yourself going back to school in 3 years? Do you see yourself opening the business? Do you see yourself getting married? Do you see yourself getting the house? Do you see yourself, what do you see for yourself? And then the second part is allowing God to say, you have seen well, or allowing God to say, you're still seeing men like trees. Let me touch your eyes again. Let me touch your vision again. Allowing God to then fix your vision, adjust your vision, correct your vision. So there's like two parts to that I'm becoming more aware of, is that I think oftentimes we ask God, God, give me the vision, and God's asking you, well, what do you see? Show me what it is that you see first. And then it's like he asks you to give it back to him to correct. Now that's the part that I learned this year, which was you have to, because here's the thing. Many a times when we plan vision, right? Everybody plans vision in the new year, right? But hey, we said we're gonna ump it up. We're gonna go to the next level. We're planning vision now. So many of us plan vision, but the truth is we don't really know what the rest of the year is going to look like. Like, who can attest? Raise your hand up already if you feel like where you are right now is not what you envisioned in the beginning of the year. We don't know what our year actually looks like. So sometimes you can get to this place of like, what's the point of planning my year or even casting vision for my year if I don't know if it's going to end up like the way that I planned? I've noticed and I've learned that that's truth. It's not going to end up like what you planned. In fact, it's kind of almost not supposed to, because if you are allowing your vision to be corrected by God, it's knowing that it is going to be redirected. It's going to be corrected and redirected. So I think one thing I've been learning this year, that don't beat yourself up for the fact that what you thought the start of your year was going to be is not going to be the end. Like, oh my gosh, y'all, do not beat yourself up for that. In fact, it's like it's a blessing to know that, hey, I lived my year open-handed to God's correcting my vision. Yeah, like literally, Gianab, I hope I'm saying that right. I'm sure I'm butchering it. I'm sorry. But no, literally, yes, I'm still pushing through anyway. That's right. Like, continue to push through, because I think what it is obedience is better than, what is the word? It's almost like when we cast vision, we're like, oh my gosh, if I don't get it done the way that I said I was going to get it done in the beginning of the year, then I failed. I failed. And it's like, no, you haven't. The goal with a relationship with God and receiving the blessings of God is obedience. He requires obedience. So as long as I have answered the question, God, this is what I see for my life. You asked me, what do I see? God, this is what I see. So can you correct it though? Because I don't know if I'm seeing right. I don't see like you see. You done seen, years and years. You've seen my whole life. God, can you correct it? And just opening yourself for that correction. So that's the first thought I wanted to share. And so I asked myself, I said, okay, so what do I see, right? What do I see for the rest of my year? And I noticed that one of the things that I kind of wanted to do differently was not to set goals that serve myself, but that serve others. And what I mean by that is, for example, right, one of my goals, let's say I want to make 6 figures by the end of the year. That's a great goal. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Still a goal, right? But the space that I'm in right now, and also I think just thinking about where I want to be and where I want to go, I've switched that thinking. If you don't know, I co-own a branding and media agency with my siblings. They're fantastic. They're amazing. And we just relaunched as Agwe Studios this year in August. In fact, this is Agwe Studios. I'm in it. So one of the things is, we do branding services and things like that. So I switched the goal from, okay, let's say I want to make six figures to, hey, I want to launch 3 new brands this year. I want to help someone else launch their dreams, right? And I think the reason why I switched that is because I'm starting to understand that, like, if I put serving others first before myself, the money is going to come regardless. Like, it's going to come regardless. And I think sometimes, like, our goals, I don't even know how to explain it. Almost like can be like moving goals. You know what I mean? Like, all right, you hit the 100,000. Then next year you hit the 200,000. I mean, I'm just personally, I'm in the space right now where it's like, I don't know if that's it, like the end all be all, So that's another thought. So I've been shifting my vision to be like, instead of, I want 15 new members in Resolve, which is my accountability group. I wanna help 1 to 3 people accomplish their dreams. Like, not making it about me, not making my vision about me, but making my vision about service. So that's another thought I had. Let me see what else I got for y'all. And yeah, I would definitely say I think that the way that I had been seeing vision before has almost caused me to be dissatisfied. Like, I'm at a place where I'm not just satisfied with, like, oh, let me make the 6 figures. Oh, let me be a billionaire. Oh, let me, monetary. And if you know me, that's really different coming from me, because girl, I'm an entrepreneur at heart, baby, okay? Like to me, value is shown through how much money we make in, how many followers we got, like things like that. And God is redefining what value is to me and how I define value. Because I'm starting to see that it's not nearly in the numbers than it is in the quality. If I have 5 members in Resolve, and that's what I have for this year, but they are like impacted and motivated and have seen a change and transformation in their life, I am more satisfied in that than the fact that I only have 5, So it's really caused me to be dissatisfied with certain thought patterns as well. One thing I thought about this, my siblings and I, we were making content for the studio. Welcome all who are coming in right now. So we were making content for the studio. And so, y'all, I'm in this transition season. It's a very interesting season for me. That's what I said in the beginning. Very, very interesting because, anyway, I'll explain that later. But for my personal journey, clothes have been such a, oh, we got Ashley in the chat. Yes. Ashley is a Resolve member. Love you too, girl. And so clothes have been, I was a fashion designer. That was my career path for some time. I thought I was going to be, in runway and all that stuff, whatever. But so clothes have been a part of my journey for a long time. And they in the beginning, they've just been a way where I've been able to articulate words that I couldn't say myself. They were a way of expressing myself. And so as I continue to grow and fashion just continued to be that tool for me, I'm in a space now where I have my clothes around me, right? And I was literally getting dressed for the TikTok content that we had to make and stuff. And I was looking in the mirror and I'm like, this is a cute look, but it just doesn't feel like me anymore. I was so I'm in this space where literally I know there's a new version of me, like a next level version of me. I can sense her. And so it's very interesting because my body is there's just things that I'm not satisfied with currently, Y'all, it feels like, verbal cardio, but I'm sure God will reveal to me whatever this is, later. But using that experience, I had this thought pattern of, as I was looking around at everything that's not where it's supposed to be, right? If you're in a space where you're like, man, I didn't think I was going to be here at this. I thought I was going to be further along. I thought I was going to have this. I thought I was going to get the job. I thought I was going to get the apartment. I thought I was going to move out. my parents' house by now, okay? I thought I was gonna this, I thought I was gonna that. And you look around and I had this thought of like, man, I'm tired of things not working out for me. And I remember like just stopping myself in that thought. And I was just dissatisfied with continuing that thought pattern. I was like, no, like where we're stepping into this transition period, where we need to go, we need to stop being victims and victimizing ourselves and start seeing ourselves as victors, like literally. I was like, no, I'm not going to continue that thought pattern of I'm tired of this. No, instead I'm going to say I'm hopeful for my next. And as soon as I said that, like, I just was, I was just a crybaby, okay? I was just a crybaby. But I think what that did to me was like stop thinking that way. Things are going to change. It's a new year for a new reason. It's a reset, right? Like, literally walk in that. So I know, like, even just vision and just thinking about vision has caused me to think like, I don't want to think the same way that I have been before. How can I continue to change and shift dysfunctional thought patterns? And I think one of the things that really touched me too recently was there was this amazing sermon I watched. It was called Transition Strategies. And hopefully I can share it. It was by one church. I forgot the name of the pastor, but One Church LA. And one of the things that he shared was when you're in transition, two things happen. There's a change, right? There's a change, which is the event that causes the transition. And your transition is more so the effects, the affected emotions because of that change. So it's almost like the aftermath, right, of whatever change happened. So one of the things that he was sharing was that change is external and transition is internal because of the fact that it deals with your emotions. And so I think in this transition season, as I'm also thinking through vision, one of the other thoughts that I had was, hey, it's probably beneficial to know what are the events of change in my life and what are the feelings of transition that I'm having. You see, I think this is why community and therapy is very important, because just like I shared with y'all, there are some feelings that I can't articulate, but I know are true to me and are very telling about what's happening in my life. But there's some that I can't articulate yet. And you need community to be able to be around people. Sometimes it's somebody else that you see what they're going through, what it is that they're saying that awakens something in you. And you're like, that's it. That's what I'm feeling. Like, that's where I am, you know? You can't find that if you're sitting at home by yourself trying to plan your vision board by yourself. Like, it's going to be very difficult. I think as we're thinking through vision and understanding that really casting vision is accepting the change and the changes that we want in our lives, right? So becoming aware of, hey, what changes have already taken place that God has allowed to prepare us for these transition seasons. And then when that transition season happens, like right now, like again, we're already in one. We're transitioning into the holidays. We're transitioning from summer to fall, okay? We're transitioning from iced lattes to pumpkin spice. Like, we're already in it. And what I've noticed is that if you don't take account of the affected emotions that happen because of the change, the event of change, you're not going to understand where you are in all of this. So what then can happen is that you can cast a wrong vision. You can cast a vision that's not necessarily in place. point blank period, because you're not seeing correctly, right? You're not seeing properly. So I think that for me, I think that's one thing that's helped me a lot, is to seek God's face, to seek spiritual counsel, to seek wise counsel, to pay attention to, hey, what are the change events that are going on in my life? Point blank period. Example number one, this Agwe Studios is a huge change in my life. Honestly, I did not know how big of a change it was going to be. Let me just give y'all a few examples. So the event of change in my life was launching this studio with my siblings. The transitions, the affected emotions that happened after, I really started to ask myself, I'm like, okay, Agwe Studios is here. It's earlier than I thought. Y'all, this was a vision that I thought was going to happen like probably in the next 5-10 years. You know what I mean? I did not think it was going to launch now, yet God made it possible. And this was the timing that he wanted to happen. With that, my other business, Agwe Studios, which again was the same thing. It was a branding agency. It was just solo. It was just myself. I asked him, like, okay, so what to do with that now? You know, like, now that Agwe Studios is here, what does that mean for Agwe Studios? And as I was exploring that, I'm like, you know what? I think Agwe Studios has to die so that Agwe Studios can live and thrive, because that's where we are now. And that might sound great, but like, it meant that, hey, that business plan that I worked so hard on the entire year, that also, the thoughts of that also have to die. The way that I thought that was going to go, that my plans have to die, they have to subside. And it also meant, like, I'm no longer a solopreneur, you know what I mean? I am a co-owner with my siblings, which it's different. They're amazing. Like, they're the best people I could ever work with. But to me, I think it's like understanding that when you work by yourself for some time, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, you have your ways of doing things, you have your timelines of doing things, and the delegation that you have to do, like, is just on you, you know what I mean? And even the definition of ownership is different. You own that thing, period, you know what I mean? Now I am a co-owner with my siblings, so there's a lot of things that are shifting. Okay, where is my place in this thing that we're building together? What part do I own, and how can I still operate as an owner, fully as an owner, even though it is a part of a whole that I own? I don't know if that makes any sense, but like, that's where my mind is. So the affected emotions are like, who am I now that Agwe Studios is here? And it's an important question to me, because it's like, I am not the same person after this changed event. So since I am not the same person after this changed event, who am I now? And that's where I am, y'all. That's where I am currently, is like understanding that there is a big part of discovering your identity that's tied to vision. God's been sharing with me that I am an owner. And I have to be able then to see vision through the eyes of an owner. If I don't know who I am and who my identity and who I am becoming in this transition, who I am becoming to be able to accomplish the vision that I'm casting, that I'm hoping for, if I don't understand who I am becoming, that vision I'm not going to see vision clearly. I'm not going to see vision correctly. Identity is such a huge part to vision. And it sounds like something that, like, we should know. Of course, like, it sounds like obvious, but what I think is really interesting is that there are layers to you, right? And it's so funny, because I would deem myself a very self-aware person. I am highly self-aware, okay? I would even have said I know myself pretty well. it's weird for me because I am in this space now where I think I have come to an end of myself. And there is a side of me that I actually don't know. I just sense it. I just know it's like, okay, like I'm stepping into a season of newness, vision, transition. I'm stepping into up another verse in Jeremiah that's talking about how God is like the potter, just like with clay, molding and shaping clay, and how I've discovered that like God is really interesting. He recreates a lot. Like instead of just take for example you. You are the same person, yet he calls you new when he touched you. You know what I mean? When he came into your life, he calls you new. But I'm still the same person, same body, same look, okay? Like same everything, but I am new. And at every level, the Bible says that he takes us from glory to glory. There are different levels of ourselves. And so there is a new level of me that he's calling higher that I actually don't know. And that is the strangest feeling to me. So I'm in this place where like, I need to know who this new Nya is that's stepping into this new season after the transition is complete. Who is she? The only person who knows how you are made, your makeup, is your maker. And I recognize that I with all my self-awareness, I've reached a point where I actually don't know. I don't know this new me. I've never met her. And so I'm in this space right now where to further understand my vision, this vision that I'm casting, this vision that I'm hoping for, is to further understand who I am and who God is calling me to be. God, who are you calling me to be in this season? Can you teach me who she is? Not even how do I become her, because he's making you, he's molding you and making you. That's not your responsibility. But my responsibility is, Lord, how do I align myself with this new identity that you have for me, for this next layer that you have over my life? And really, that's where I'm at. And so I'm excited for, what our next dreaming session will be, what God has revealed to me in that time, because it's really strange for me, y'all. But I just want to thank y'all again for joining me. It is 7:59, okay? Want to respect your time and respect mine, y'all. It's been a long day, but I do want to share a couple things with y'all. Like I said, the Vision Party is the Dreamers Networking PJ Party. It is our end celebration of Vision Month. It's November 4th, and I would love, love, love to see y'all there. It's ladies only. Sorry, fellas, okay? But fellas, there is actually another event for y'all. It's at our studios, but I'll post that one later. But as it pertains to vision and this Vision Month, I would definitely encourage y'all to join us on the Things Hope For fam. The link is in the bio, both links for the event and the Facebook page, so that we can continue this conversation and keep this conversation going. Don't have me out here talking to myself, y'all, okay? Let's get into this together. Let's hop into this together. Let us dream together, because like I said, I need y'all, okay? I love community, and I feel like it's together that we make each other stronger, that we make each other better, and that revelation is shared and healing is shared. So thank you guys so much for joining me for this dreaming session. I love you guys. Good night.
My name is Ashley. I'm from New Jersey, and I am a creative. As like a little girl, I always liked to play my grandma's jewelry. So when I was 15, that's when I started my first company. I used to feel guilty if I was working on my business too much. And I used to feel guilty that I wasn't working enough if I was with my family. So Resolve has kind of helped me focus on, okay, who do you want to be? Yeah, I want to be an amazing business person. I want to be an amazing artist, but I also want to be an amazing mom, an amazing wife. I never realized how beneficial it is to have people that are like holding you accountable and you're checking in with a regular basis, doing like our 2-week sessions. I'm like, okay, Thursday is coming. Like, I have to, what are we doing? So it's actually kind of helped me not feel so overwhelmed by my list. I've learned a lot just even hearing other people talk about what's going on in their lives and what they're working on. And it really helps keep you going. Everyone is so supportive of what everyone else is doing. And let's be honest, in today's day and age, that's kind of a special thing. And I think that like really can help a lot of people. I'm looking forward to getting more stuff done.
Join a community of creative women ready and willing to break the cycle of inconsistency. Bring to life your wildest dreams and get more things done. Go to www.ThngsHopedFor.com/memberships to find out more about Resolve and enroll now. Thanks for joining us on this month's episode. For more resources to empower your faith journey, check out our website linked in the show notes to find free downloadables, inspirational articles, and much, much more. We'd love for you to be a part of our THF fam. Subscribe to our YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you like to listen to your podcast so you don't miss what's next. If this episode encouraged you, share it with someone else, or consider supporting this podcast by clicking the donation link in the show notes so that we together can send the message of hope in Christ to those who need hope now. Keep in touch with us on social media at ThngsHopedFor, and until then, see you next month. Love, Agwe.